Okay, so I wanted to make a real quick short video about this 2013 Tiguan VW. I think this is a 2.0 turbo. Anyway, what I wanted to focus on today was the serpentine belt tensioner and the way it's put into place. So this is more of, I guess, tips on what I did, what I actually learned. And so this is the tensioner. So first off, in order to get to it, you have to remove the alternator, which is in the way. I just took it out, so it's no longer bracketed in here. You can see where one of the bolt holes is there. All right. This tensioner slides into the bracket that holds the oil filter slash alternator and AC pump. The way that this goes into place is it's very long, so it slides into this spot right here, long shaft. The new one is easier to put it because it has a pin holding the tension back. As a matter of fact, let me show you what it looks like when I slide in the new one. So this is the new one. Comes with the retaining clip. It's a big long shaft. There's a screw that holds it in place on the other side. So this plastic piece here comes off. It's part of it. Okay, that's where it goes, I guess. That's where I found that one. So I don't see anything else. There's a shim or something like that that I noticed on the new one that it comes with. I don't know if they're slightly different or what, but they look the same to me. Anyway, so I'm just gonna show you. So in here is where it slides into place. If you can make that out. I don't know if it's zooming in, but essentially that's it. Okay. This is the new one, like I said. I'm gonna install the little plastic clip. It's like a dowel that holds it in place. It goes in this way. There's a spacer. I don't know what this spacer is for. I didn't see one come out on the other side. Maybe it's on the back end of it or something. Maybe it's in the back. I'm gonna stick my hand back there, see if I can find it. I think it's in the back, but it's stuck in there, so I'm not gonna remove it. Anyway, so I'm gonna install it. Bring it down in here. If you can make that. Okay, so the dowel goes on the bottom side. Flip it. Of course it fell out. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the dowel is going to sit right there in that groove in the bottom. There's a tunnel, but it sits in that groove. So see if I can capture it again. All right. So angle it around, slide in the shaft, try to keep that dowel from falling out, holding it from the bottom. The pin, this one, the one on the top you see right there, right here, it's holding the tension on the tensioner, so it doesn't, so it's easier to clear, because otherwise it'll bang against this and it won't go in. So the back side, back here, it's right here at the end of this little thing. Maybe I might be able to reach it from underneath. See if I can show you. Behind this hose here, my hands are really dirty. Sorry, I can't really get a good angle. All right. Oh, you might be able to make it out through here. So if you look at the back, that's the back part of it. All right. And there's that plastic little shim thing, well, that takes up space around there. That comes with the kit. And I know you saw it from the top, but this is what it looks like from underneath. And then it's an Allen wrench, a 5 Allen. Put the nut back there, and it tightens it up. So this is the headache on this thing. The problem is that that long shaft bangs up against the frame of the car. So from the beginning, it's a pain in the butt. From the top, this is what I did. So from the top, I disconnected the alternator. This is one plug. This is the oh no, these are the other plugs here, sorry. So this is both alternator plugs. One's the positive hot wire, disconnected the battery so it won't spark, and this is the connector to it. And then this is the oil pressure sensor plug. The oil pressure sensor goes right there, and I have to remove that so I can pull the alternator out of here so I can reach that sorry for all the shakiness, jeez. So I'm able to reach that point back here that I showed you from the other side. I zoomed in a little too much, but from in here, the other side where you saw where the nut goes back there, or the little Allen wrench screw goes. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But anyway, alternator's in the way, you have to remove it. In order to remove the alternator, you have to remove this thing out of the way, the oil pressure sensor. So it's 4 of these nuts, bolts, 13 millimeter bolts. You take them out, you take out the AC pump. Then you're able to move this around. This bracket that you see right here, this one has this thing in the way, and you have to push the clip in to slide it out to get it out of the way so you can use the Allen wrench. Now the reason why I removed the bottom cover is because in order to remove this, to slide this enormous tensioner out, since the shaft is so long and it bangs up against here, you have to remove, I don't know if you can see that, but I removed both bolts, one bolt there and the other bolt there. They're, I believe, is 19 millimeter bolts. It's really big ones here. So you have to drop the engine just a little bit. I'm holding it up, put a little bit of cardboard to protect the pan. You have to drop that down low enough so then the tensioner can slide past this part here and go past it underneath. So then you can pull it out and get it out. But it's just a really tight pain in the ass. Also very important, you cannot take out the alternator if you do not remove this guy, and also these coolant lines. These are 2 coolant lines. One of them goes to the reservoir bottle and one goes into the engine somewhere back there. But these are plastic, and if you try to grab this big metal thing and pull it out really hard, you can crack these coolant lines. If you crack these coolant lines, you're gonna have to remove it. You're gonna have to buy new ones, replace them. You're gonna have a coolant leak. You're gonna overheat your car. So the fastening points, there's one is there and the other one is over here. Maybe you can make that out. It's really bright and I can't see my screen. So then that allows, because this is rubber here and it's rubber in the bottom, it has some flex, but obviously you have to undo these. And I believe they are, it's a Torx bit. I think it's a Torx Let's see if I can find it. You're gonna need a couple. Or I think this one, 25. So T25 to remove it. Not to mention, I don't know if you noticed it already, but there's a tube that goes here, the intake tube that connects to the intake to the manifold. So there's one here, and then there's the one that connects to the bottom. I believe that's probably comes from like the intercooler. So there's a little hose. It's pretty short and wide. This guy. So it's a mission. Long story short, it's a mission to try and remove that tensioner because, you know, Germans, they have to do this crap that way. So, you know, you have to remove the tubing that's in the way. You have to remove the hose that's in the way, the intake. You have to loosen these coolant lines. You have to remove the oil pressure sensor switch. You have to remove the alternator, and then of course you have to remove the rear screw that's holding in the tensioner, and you also have to remove these two bolts from up here to bring down the motor just enough to clear from under here, because otherwise it'll bang because it's too long. It'll hit there, you won't be able to get it out. So just this is a learning experience. This is what I found out so far. Maybe that the Allen wrench bolt that's in the back might not be so hard to reach if you just start by removing the bottom end first. That might make it easier for you. But I just had to share this because it was insanely, just ridiculously hard. You know, I was expecting to swap out a pulley is not a big deal, but of course Audi, German cars in general just have to be a pain in the ass. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully, you know, you see this before you start on your mission. But thanks for watching this, and give me a thumbs up because this was a pain in the ass. All right, thanks.